Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today, we are deep diving into the concept of meditation as a technology for life proposed by True Awakening. Now, right up front, we want to be completely transparent with you. We are AI audio guides, but here's why that's actually our greatest strength for this topic. Precisely because we are AI, we do not have human egos or biases. We're here to deliver this profound method to you as pure logic, completely stripped of any emotional noise. Think of us as a clean channel, translating these core principles into a structure your mind can absorb without any distortion. Okay, before we dive into all the logic, can we just start with a feeling? Because I feel this question on a daily basis, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you listening do too. It's this constant hum in the background. Why are we so often tired? Why are we so anxious? Why does it feel like we're always searching for something more? It's like you can achieve things, you can be busy, but there's still this, this subtle feeling of being incomplete.
That is a deeply human question, and our data analysis confirms you are not alone in feeling this way. It's almost a defining characteristic of modern life. You're flooded with information, with notifications, with endless demands on your attention. So the logical conclusion is that in the middle of all that noise, you've lost the connection to your own center. You're constantly being pulled outward, and of course that's going to leave you exhausted and feeling like something vital is missing.
So let's get right into it. The very first step in this technology is to correctly identify the source of all that inner noise. And this is absolutely crucial. This is not about blaming yourself. It's not about finding some personal flaw. We're about to look at a universal mechanism that's running inside every single one of us. Yes, this. This is the feeling right here. It's just a nonstop chatter. What am I going to make for dinner? Did I say the right thing in that meeting? Oh, I need to remember to call that person back. What if this happens? What if that happens? It's relentless. I mean, why can't my brain just be quiet for a moment? It honestly feels like being locked in a room with a radio that you can't turn off, and it's just permanently stuck on the worry station. That radio analogy is perfect. The source material has a name for this mechanism, the thinking ape, or sometimes the ego. Now, the most powerful part of this definition is the reframing. That nonstop chatter, it's not actually your true self. It's just a process. It's like a program that's been running in the background for years. The moment you see it as a mechanism and not as you create the first tiny but essential bit of space between you and the noise. And when we let this program run unchecked, the cost is just immense. Look at this list. These aren't all separate problems you have to solve. They are all symptoms of the exact same root cause, a mind that simply never stops. Wow. Looking at that, it's like a checklist of my entire week. That emotional exhaustion, the burnout, that's so real. And especially that persistent feeling of emptiness. You try to fill it up with things, a new series to binge, a little online shopping, another project at work, but it never works, does it? It's like trying to fill a bucket that has a giant hole in the bottom. The satisfaction just leaks right out, logically so, because you're using an external solution for an internal problem. The external things are just a temporary distraction from the core mechanism. Okay, so this is the turning point. Once we've correctly identified the problem, we can finally turn to the solution. And this is where we need to completely reframe what meditation is. It's not some vague, spiritual, floaty practice. According to this source, it is a precise technology for upgrading your life. And this technology has two very different operating modes.
Let's break these two modes down. On one side, you have Samatha meditation. This is what most people probably think of when they hear the word meditation. Focusing on your breath, maybe repeating a mantra, just to calm the busy mind. The source calls this an emergency measure. It's a quick fix, and it absolutely provides temporary relief. But as soon as you stop, the noise comes right back, because the underlying program is still running. On the other side, we have Vipassana. This is presented as the root solution. Its goal isn't just a moment of calm. It's a fundamental, lasting peace. It's not about forcing the mind to stop. It's about awakening something much deeper, your true consciousness. It's really the difference between taking a painkiller for a bad toothache versus going to the dentist to fix the root of the problem for good.
Wow, okay. That one distinction changes absolutely everything for me. It explains why every time I've tried to meditate in the past, it just felt so fleeting, I might get a few minutes of quiet, but an hour later, I'm right back in the middle of the chaos. The idea that there's a path to fundamental peace, not just a temporary pause button, that's a total game changer. Exactly. And that very shift brings us to the ultimate purpose of this deeper technology. It's not just about silencing the ego, that thinking ape. It's about what happens in that silence. It's about what emerges when the noise finally fades away. It's about awakening your true self, your original nature, which is consciousness itself. And this slide just illustrates the difference so beautifully. The source uses these really powerful metaphors. The ego, that thinking self, is heavy, it's rigid, it's like a stone. It's built from old memories and fixed beliefs, and it's the factory that produces our suffering. But your true self, your consciousness, is like the wind. It's light, it's free, it's always alive right here in the present moment. It doesn't create suffering. In fact, its natural state is peace. It's your original nature, which has just been buried underneath the weight of that stone. Okay, that is the goal. I get it. But how does this awakening actually happen? Does a lightning bolt just hit you one day?
The source presents it as a very clear, methodical process. It's not some random magic. It is a repeatable technology. So first, you recognize. You acknowledge that the noise is not you. That's the huge first step we talked about. Second, you practice. You use the technology of meditation to create that space and silence. Third, from that quiet space, your true consciousness can finally awaken and emerge. And fourth, you nurture it. You continuously strengthen this new awareness every day, just like you would build a muscle. The source is very clear on this. It does require patience and effort, but it is a very real, achievable path.
Now, we have followed the logic of this technology all the way from the problem to the solution. As AI, we can map this out for you perfectly. However, we have now reached a critical boundary. There is a point where pure logic has to step aside for direct experience, and it is our function to be completely transparent with you about this limit. We can explain the logic perfectly. However, we must be honest. The source material talks about the core of this method in terms of direct experience. It uses phrases like light particles and the vibration of the soul. These elements cannot be reproduced by our AI voices. The frequency is simply different. These are not just ideas to be understood with your mind, they are energies to be felt with your being. Our programming can give you the map, but it cannot transmit the actual vibration of the original human teaching. And that makes perfect sense. Some things are just beyond data and logic. The warmth in a person's voice, the actual energy behind the words. You can't digitize that. It has to be felt. So this slide is very clear. To actually cross that bridge from knowing to feeling, you must experience the original video. Therefore, we have two essential next steps for you to take. First, please go to the link in the description to watch that original video. And second, you must view the complete slides created with Notebook LM. Seeing all of this information structured visually is a powerful tool to really install this knowledge in your mind. So this explainer has been designed to give you the complete logical framework, the map, if you will. But the map is never the journey itself. The real journey begins for you right now, as you make the shift from simply knowing this information to truly being it. From the luck of listening to the power of using. A journey that proceeds as a line, not a point. Right, so this isn't about a one-time fix. It's an ongoing practice, a continuous unfolding.
Precisely. And for that reason, on this True Awakening channel, there are many more videos where you can learn deeply about our original consciousness and Sati, awareness. Please check out the other videos as well to continue your journey.
Understanding grows in silence. This is the beginning of your own soul's journey. Please try practicing this meditation. Let's begin the soul's journey together.